Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you set 4 of SKT and KT Rolster in the finals. Series is closening up 2 games to 1 after Action got his victory against Sue in a nice little ZVZ. But we're going to have a TVZ here. For SKT, we're going to have Ssak in blue, and for KT Rolster in the top left we will have Crazy Hydra in yellow. So Ssak bottom right in blue and Crazy Hydra at the top left in yellow. I think the last time I saw Ssak play he went with like some 4 racks build or something crazy, and then ended up losing to, I think it was Lurkers. I think he lost to Lurkers or to Mutas. He basically couldn't control his units and ended up getting wrecked. That was the last time I saw Ssak play. Hopefully he's doing a little bit better since then. Of course, his claim to fame has been that he took down Flash during OSL group stages, MSL group stages, one of the group stages anyway. He took down Flash during that, and I think everyone kind of gave him a big thumbs up for that, but hasn't done too much since. Hasn't really been that strong of a player. He has not been a consistent player in SKT's lineup. He's almost 3rd string basically for SKT. We just have not seen a lot of him in Pro League recently. He game here and there, but yeah, really not a lot. And he hasn't played since February 5th, the last time he played. A loss to Jadon, so it has been quite some time since he's really gotten any playtime. And for Crazy Hydra, on the other hand, Crazy Hydra's been playing pretty well. He's been one of the secondary players for KT Rolster, and so far in this playoffs he has played 4 times. He's gone 2-2 against mostly all 2nd string players for his opponents, going against Brave and Grape from Samson Khan, and then Hero joined, and then his one big game I think was against Effort. Yeah, there we go. Or no, Hydra. He did have one big game against Hydra that he did actually win. So yeah, that's how he's been performing so far in the playoffs. Looks like we do have a 12 hatch coming in here from Crazy Hydra. Does he have something crazy in plan for us? But he is if you don't remember, he is the Zerg player that came over from Moongjin Star's highly touted Moongjin Star lineup. Apparently their amateur team, their amateur team coach is like some huge Zerg maestro. He really knows how to train Zergs, and that's where Zero and Soulkey and Crazy Hydra, that's where they all came from. And so apparently KT Rolster brought Crazy Hydra over, and it's kind of looked like the KT Zergs actually look pretty good these days. Like, they look pretty solid. Like, they're all playing pretty well, and maybe that's a little bit of Crazy Hydra rubbing off of them, bringing over some of those ideas and strategies from Moongjin Stars. Potentially, it's one of those things that get overlooked a little bit, but always good to see when players kind of mix it up and are trying to train with each other and everyone trying to learn different methods of how to play really well. And there's a 3rd hatchery for Action as well, or not Action, Crazy Hydra. And for Ssak, we do have the 1 rack straight into Expo almost completed, and once again, don't know who those are. But a little bit more about that, looking at how SKT's been training, they actually have moved into a house with a teammate. Teammate came in and their big 6 came in to train them. And Jadon, C, Baby, Killer, Tyson, Failhoon, they all came over and lived with the T1 house for a little while there. I think it was for maybe like half a week, something like that. And so they were helping to train, which is really awesome. I think that really helps out SKT. I think that's a real big help to SKT. Of course, teams always are practicing with each other at all times. You always see them help each other out, especially for OSL, MSL, and for these big things. But you don't often see them actually literally move in to each other's houses. That you don't hear about or see a whole lot, and that's what's happened here. And I think that's going to be a nice advantage for them. Baby and Jadong in particular, top-notch multitasking Terran and Zerg will really help them as they were probably prepping for Flash, who of course has some of the best multitask, of course, as well. Flash has some of the best everything, but when you have a player like Baby who has some of the best multitasking, you get to play against that. It can be kind of an emulation of what you can expect to see from Flash, and I'm sure that is a benefit to that. And of course, anytime you get to play with Jadong and see, you're gonna have some insights into your own builds, into what you're going to expect your opponents to maybe try and counter with, and that's awesome when you're living with them and you can talk about it really in depth. And I think that maybe that'll come into play here with all the little extra bits of training. We've already seen Flash go down to Fantasy, and that could be one of those little things that Fantasy's had an advantage of in all that practice time. just another little tidbit, some of the background information that goes on in StarCraft Brood War that you don't see a lot from just playing just from watching the games. Just some of that background information that isn't in English but gets translated, thank God, by some wonderful people on TL usually, and they are glorious. I love the translators. They are the greatest people. Well, some of the greatest people in the world, of course. The streamers. The streamers, I think, will always be the greatest people in the world, because then if you can't see StarCraft, it doesn't matter how much you read about it, it's just not entertaining. So I think the streamers are probably the greatest people in the world, and then followed by the translators. Translators are pretty awesome. But yeah, that's just my two cents on StarCraft. And has Crazy Hydra snuck a base in the bottom left? Is that a yellow blob in the bottom left? I think that might be a hidden base. Not a hidden base, but a pretty early base already. You do see that the third bases do go up, and then you kind of defend them with lurkers. That's kind of the idea. But usually that happens while the mutas are hitting, not like before the mutas even are built. Are there even mutas? I assume that there should be mutas on the way. It looks like just Lings right now. We should be seeing some mutas. And a 5th Brax from Ssak. So he's going to be doing something crazy again. He's going to come in with a crap ton of Marine Medic and go for a big push, and hopefully he has this timing down to counter 3-hatch Muta. This is his build that he's got to counter us. Please, Ssak, please have the timing down to counter 3-hatch Muta. It's one of the most common builds in the league ever. This is what you should expect to see. If your build doesn't work against 3-hatch Muta, you probably shouldn't use it against a Zerg. It's one of those things that you're kind of just like, in order to try a build or to use a build, you have to be able to counter certain things. And one of those things is a 3-hatch Muta, because that's what comes a lot. So you need to be able to deal with that, and we'll find out here whether his timing is right. He is pushing out right now. Links for Crazy Hydra are going to try and just delay this. I don't think he's going to really engage here in a big fight. He's just going to try and delay this. Maybe he'll try and do a run around and try and pick off some reinforcements, something like that. But we won't see a huge engagement. Mutalisks are out on the field. There are 6 in the air, probably 9 actually, just not in that screen is probably what we're going to be seeing. And Ssak not really pushing out, kind of just chilling on the ridges. So really waiting here, and not sure if this is going to work. Ssak pushing out here, maybe waiting for +1. That could be what we're waiting for. But yeah, doesn't look really good right now for him to be able to push out with that Muta-Ling group. Very, very strong right now. Academy has finished building. Yeah, I don't even see an engineering base, so he's not waiting for +1, just waiting for more Marines, I guess. But a bad swoop by Crazy Hydra, and does oh no, there's the +1. There we go. There's the +1. And he did pay for that poor swoop with a Mutalisk, and he's got to be careful. Doesn't want to lose more. He's got to see that that's +1. I don't know if he's noticed that. That's really important that he notices that it's +1, and it becomes a lot more careful with his swoops. Not sure if he has. And that Hydra's den is complete, and we're going to be seeing some Hydras come out soon, and some Lurkers placed at the bottom left in order to defend that ramp. Should be very, very effective at doing so. And Ssak loses all of his reinforcing units. This is exactly what's the danger, is that with that highly mobile Muta-Ling forces, that you can move from the main attacking force, and you can go all the way to the reinforcements with ease and very, very quickly, and that's exactly what we saw there, and very, very well done by Crazy Hydra. A couple of sunken colonies coming up at the bottom left, along with those Hydras, which are probably waiting for Lurker aspect and minerals to start morphing and to defend that position. I think with the two sunken colonies as well as his Mutalisk, he should be fine. Yeah, he'll be fine. With two sunken colonies, a Mutalisk, and whatever links he has left, he will be fine. 3 Hydras are morphing into Lurkers, so even if Ssak gets in there, I just don't think he's going to be, even if he beats the Lurker timing, I just don't think he's going to be able to do anything here. But Ssak is going for it anyways. It looks like his force here is kind of trapped, so it's kind of one of those things where he's got to do something with it, or use it or lose it. That's basically what Ssak is at. So he's got to make a decision here about these Marines. If he just sits them there, they're really not going to gain any advantage, and they're probably going to die to Lurkers. Lurker Muta. So he's got to make a choice, and what is that choice going to be? Its choice is going to be to chillax right now. And Muta's coming in here to the reinforcements of Ssak, picking off some SCVs that are building missile turrets, and continuing to bound in here, picking off. Oh, actually, he missed a SCV or 2. I think he could have picked off a couple more. It's alright. Ssak continuing to 2-base here, and continuing with his 5 racks. So he's got very, very little tech going. And the longer this game goes on, the farther Ssak falls behind, because Crazy Hydra has his base at the bottom left, and in addition, Crazy Hydra is also going to have more tech. I mean, a lot more tech. Even without the third gas, he still has more tech than Ssak does. and by a pretty significant amount here. And here come Muta, Ling, and the Lurkers should come in from behind as well. This could end up being very, very effective if he times this right. And here we go. The Mutas, the Lings, the Lurkers, all of it come in. The one of the Lurkers does go down, but another Lurker is still alive. And Ssak, actually, with some pretty solid micro, is able to take out a couple of Lurkers as well as all of the Lings. So just the Mutas left in one singular Lurker. So pretty well done there by Ssak, microing those Marines. Well done. Very, very well done. And he looks very, very normal. Ssak looked like a very normal pro gamer. Like some of the pro gamers, you know, you're a little bit worried about their look, whether they're, you know, properly grooming themselves. But Ssak looks pretty normal. You know, he's got that. His hairdo looks normal. His glasses look normal. Everything looks pretty normal, pretty vanilla there from Ssak. A couple bunkers up here right now for Ssak as well. It is natural expansion. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, a couple of bunkers to be defensive when you have such an aggressive build, kind of. You know, it's kind of one of those things where I feel like he feels like he needs to transition into a more defensive build in order to get tech out, but it's not looking good for Ssak right now. Not looking good at all. He may have the supply count lead, but when you're playing against a Zerg, that's not always that important. We do have a Defiler round coming up. That Hive Tech is finished, so we are going to be seeing some very, very high tech units coming out for Crazy Hydra, and Ssak still sticking on 2 base. Does have a science facility finally out. Still finally gets his first tank out, but this is just very, very late tech. Nidus Canal is already up to the bottom left, and we could see Crazy Hydra take a 4th base pretty soon as well. That Lurker defense is going to be pretty solid, and he should be able to take that natural expansion to the bottom left, which is only 2 medics. So these Marines are stimming, and that's like permanent death for them. When you only have 2 medics, there's not enough energy in 2 medics to get to stim all of these kinds of units. And no medics with this group, but Lings without crack are not going to be able to take out those units like that. Science Vessel coming in here with the tanks, and they are going to be able to force these Lurkers back. So now it's a waiting game to see how long it takes for that Defiler to come out with Consume in order to throw down some Swarm. And once that happens, we will see Crazy Hydra probably go ahead and oh, poor control there, losing a Lurker. Once the Swarm comes up with the Consume, he will be in pretty solid shape here in order to defend. But Ssak does have that opportunity, this narrow window of opportunity, and forcing the Lurkers to come in here to defend the ramp, doing a great job of it, picking off 2 of the tanks, 1 tank remaining, but that is very, very key. Picking off 2 of the tanks, that is huge. Only 1 tank left means that this push is slowed down considerably, so it's going to be a whole lot longer for Ssak to work his way up this ramp and slowly to pick off the Lurkers. All of those things that the tanks massive tanks are useful for, that is going to take a whole lot longer. And there is the Defiler. It is about to get irradiated very, very quickly, and so he needs to get over there and lay down a swarm or 2 if he can, ASAP, ASAP. And will he do so? And no, he will not get a swarm down. But a second Defiler is there. Is there another irradiate left inside of that science vessel? That is the question. As Crazy Hydra just threw away some Lings. I'm just going to shake my head to clear my head of that. I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen because that was weird. And here comes some Lurkers under Swarm. Going to take back that ramp pretty easily. And where else are we going to see more Defilers? We should be seeing more Defilers. We've seen a lot of Lings. Haven't seen and Lurkers as well. Ooh, a nice drop there on the base of Crazy Hydra. Very nice drop. Not sure how much he was able to gather, but it looks like he picked off several drones there. So good drop. Does get cleared out by Crazy Hydra pretty quickly, so not losing any tech at least. And here comes some more Marines in the middle of the map, going to go down to Mutas. Reinforcing units will be enough to force Crazy Hydra back, or Crazy Hydra will just lose all of his Mutas. Whew. I think you can tell that we're playing against the second. We're watching the second and third string. It's just one of those things. The reaction times are just not the same as when you watch like Bisu or Fantasy Flash. It's just not the same. Whew. I think we maybe got a little bit spoiled there in those first couple of games, and even last game was pretty well played as well. I got a little bit spoiled by seeing the top notch, the best of the best, and then you come down a level. And I mean, they're not bad, but just how much slower everything is. Yeah, you know, you get spoiled when you watch the best of the best. It's like watching Federer and Nadal over and over again, and from like 2007, 2010, and then like I don't know, then watching. I don't know enough about tennis. I don't know the second round of tennis, the second tier of guys in tennis. Never mind. I can't make tennis references because I don't know tennis well enough apparently, so that was a fail. But watching like average dudes play. And another drop comes in here for Ssak. Oh, huge mine! Yowzas! That looked like it picked off three or 4 Lurkers. Youch! That's gotta hurt. And so Crazy Hydra in a little bit of trouble there after that mine took down a lot of forces. SKT fans looking a little, SKT players looking a little bit happier there. Crazy Hydra does manage to clear out that drop, but he did have some losses, and those mines, yikes, yikes, those mines were painful. That was dangerous to watch. We hadn't seen mines all game, and then finally they appear, and boom, they just wreck the world, and that mine is not going to chase all the way. Sometimes those mines like chase for 3 hours, but not that time. And so Ssak here is going to try and stop this third base from coming up. He has taken the third base himself, so Ssak's starting to look a little bit better here in this game, and he has taken a pretty dominating supply count lead after he has taken his own third base out here on Sniper Ridge. So things looking a little bit better for SKT. A plague does come out, picking off on a lot of those Marines, but the fourth base does get destroyed. So SKT being a little bit happier here. This game is getting starting to swing towards Ssak's favor. He's just been able to stick to it and slowly build up his attack, and you know, Crazy Hydra just hasn't been able to get aggressive at all, which is the shocker. I thought he would have been able to by now. And this game is getting quite exciting here. This is going to be great for Ssak. A nice little, I still want to call it a comeback. Not that big a comeback, but a little bit of a comeback for Ssak if he's able to do this. Oh, nice by Crazy Hydra, picking off that dropship that has been so huge and so effective. I really hope Ssak builds another dropship. It makes that investment. He's been doing very, very well with those dropships, and I really think he should continue with it just to keep that option, that little trick in his bag to keep going back to if he needs it. And we could be seeing an eraser trick here. Is that what we are gonna? Yeah, we are gonna have an eraser trick. Crazy Hydra moving his drones to the Naias Canal. Will it be in time, or will he lose any drones? I can't tell. Was he losing drones? I want to know if he's losing drones. Can't tell. Looks like he lost 3 drones. Yeah, it looks like he lost 3 drones. So not a whole lot, but he was able to. But mining has stopped at that base, and mines, ooh, wow, mines. Jeez, Ssak's starting to look pretty good here. His mine placement is being really, really effective, and starting to take down some of the bases and containing Crazy Hydra here pretty well. Now he's got to see that this drone is going off to build another base and just keep to it. If Ssak just keeps to it and keeps Crazy Hydra onto 3 bases and contains him, he will be in excellent shape. I mean, Crazy Hydra will not have the gas to really go into heavy like Ultra Army to break this. He'll have to get a little bit. Crazy Hydra will have to get a little bit creative in order to really defend effectively. And especially if he ever wants to start pushing forward here. And here comes another side vessel going down to a couple of Hydras there. Gotta be a little careful of that. And a Lurker comes in with a swarm, a single solitary swarm, and the Lurker is not going to burrow. The Lurker does not want any kills. Apparently, Crazy Hydra didn't want kills, so he didn't burrow. Like I said, we are watching the second string or third string, and depending upon how you look at Ssak, we are watching second and third string players. So that occasionally will happen when you go from a best of 5 series to best of 7s, and yeah, we're just gonna stick to that yep. And Ssak trying to push into the natural expansion. I think he feels like he's at a position where he can do that. Needs to keep those science vessels alive. Only one left alive. But chain swarms coming in here, and Ssak losing all of his tanks, not able to control them and get them back, while the Scourge were fighting off his science vessels. Just didn't have the control. What are you shooting at, Ssak? Ssak's control is starting to fail him here. And where is he going? I'm not sure what Ssak is doing right now, but he is starting to lose control of his units and lose control of his game right now. He had pretty solid control with that contain, and now he's just kind of like wandering around willy-nilly. He has taken a 4th base, which is good. I could be seeing a conversion to mech eventually, which would be pretty cool. And there is the conversion to mech. There's a lot of tanks around, and 4th base has gone up for Crazy Hydra. No drones there yet, but that will be the next step. Probably get a Nidus over to that base, and it looks like we're gonna have a drop come in. There is a Valkyrie there waiting, and there are some mech units that are actually in position. All he has to do is turn them around, and he'll be able to stop that with the Valkyrie and the mech units. And come on, Ssak, turn around! Sometimes I get frustrated watching the second tier players, and this is gonna be one of those situations. He could have just turned around and dealt with it so effectively as soon as he saw it. The Valkyrie was shooting late. The units took forever to turn around. Sadness, depression. Come on, man. But Ssak's gonna lose that the mining at that base for a while now as well. And Crazy Hydra's going to take the natural expansion at the bottom left. So this game is swinging back and forth, around and about. And no scan going off on that Lurker. So that Lurker's going to stay alive for a little while longer here. As Crazy Hydra is working on taking more and more bases and doing a good job of it. right now, and that's just the pendulum of this game, back and forth, back and forth. Doesn't look like it's going to end anyhow. Skin! Thank you. Oh, Ssak. Oh, Ssak. And Crazy Hydra. Ssak and Crazy Hydra. This is a different kind of a game. This is quite the game, you know, that we're getting to see here. And that mine is not gonna go off. I don't think that mine went off. Yeah, I don't think that mine went off. A lot of turrets coming up here. Turrets is well defending that 3 o'clock position, but turrets and tanks do nothing under swarm. So those lurkers are going to actually be burrowed this time. Look at that. Those lurkers did get burrowed, so they are going to be able to do some damage now, taking off all the tanks, and they're going to start picking off the missile turrets and the SCVs and everything else that has been invested into that position. Ssak has just not been able to keep those defilers away from his base. He's not been able to build up that science vessel count in order to be able to just go clouds, and he's building all these Valkyries. Why isn't he just... I don't really understand. Don't really understand the reason for all these Valkyries instead of just getting science vessels. I mean, they're actually pretty close, and gas costs are pretty close. Ooh, a nice barracks being dropped there to wall up. That is awesome. That is awesome play by Ssak. That is great. That is fantastic. I'm a big fan. That was really cool by Ssak. Very, very well done. And he's able to clear out a lot of the drones that are at that 12 o'clock base. And that is going to be very, very helpful to him in this game. That was very, very well done. I think he's actually floated off a command center to the top right natural or to the top right main. Yeah, top right main I think has a command center as well. He just needs to establish his bases, needs to go ahead and either both of these players, it's actually the same thing for both of them. Either of them just needs to establish their bases and start to solidify their defenses. And once they do that, they'll be in fantastic shape. There has been a switch to mutas. Since there aren't any Goliaths around, the mutas are going to be effective for a little while here, as they are going to start picking up tanks, and Ssak's going to have to transition into some Goliaths. Going to be pretty gas heavy, but it looks like he's sitting on a couple thousand gas, which means that he needs as many bases and minerals as he possibly can get, and he's just does not have enough SCVs right now. He has a couple fresh bases, but he has no SCVs at them, so he's not really getting the benefits yet. He needs to get in there with SCVs and start mining. And start rolling. On the other hand, Crazy Hydra has looked like he's still unable to solidify the 12 o'clock base. He's at least stopped the vultures, but he's still unable to solidify that. He has at least taken the bottom right natural, so he is starting to mine from that base. Both of them have just been unable to really get their ecos going on harassed, and it's become kind of one of those willy-nilly back and forth things. And we're seeing that's a huge gas stockpile for Ssak, and I don't know what he's going to, what do you develop that much gas into when you're Terran and you don't have a lot of minerals? Not really sure what costs a lot of gas and not a whole lot of minerals for Terran other than science vessels and Valkyries, which is what he's doing is Valkyries. Maybe he should invest in, transition all of his starports to science vessels. I think that would be a good idea. Very wise. I think that would be very useful. Radiates are pretty good against defilers. That's what I hear anyways. That's what I've been told. And once you get that cloud going, of course, as well, the irradiates, you just start using them on lurkers. So you can just take out huge batches of lurkers for free. It's really cool. Science vessels can be pretty lame. And Vulture's coming back in here to the 12 o'clock position. He is really hammering at this spot, trying to really keep the drone count down. And he's doing a really good job of that. Ssak is keeping that drone count at a minimum. And here comes an Overlord into the main base, and that is a scouting Overlord over Lonely, I think. Oh no, is there something in there? Did that seriously just get away? Oh, okay. What? Why did he send that back to die? What? This game. Don't understand. Whatever. Defiler is about to get picked off by vultures. It does go down. A plague goes off on the vultures, so those vultures will go down pretty easily if Mutas can come into play. But that is all just on vultures, not on the Valkyries, not on the tanks either. And Scourge are chasing the Valkyries around. Goliaths are there if they would just shoot. If they would just shoot. Oh my, are you serious? You serious? That just happened? The Goliaths just had to start shooting and the Valkyries would have been fine. But nope, they are not fine. They lost one of their number. And mutas are starting to come out in force. No upgrades on those mutas. I haven't gotten a chance to look at the upgrades for Terran yet either, the ground or the air, the mech or the air. But I am curious to see what that looks like, as Crazy Hydra is taking the 9 o'clock base as well, as it looks like some of the initiative has been lost. And those Scourge taking down almost all the Valkyries, just one left. So, yeah. Scourge, I hear, are really, really cost efficient against Valkyries. Yep, that's what I heard. And so a lot of that gas that has been invested into those Valkyries has just been pretty much wasted. All they've done is really killed off a few Overlords, but not a whole lot else. And he's still building Valkyries! Are you serious? Well, I guess now with the Mutas out, he's justified, but he's still building Valkyries. Has not stopped building Valkyries. I haven't seen a Science Vessel in quite some time, and this could end up being a huge mistake from Ssak, just ignoring Science Vessels. There's a reason that Science Vessel Clouds are used in virtually every single late game TVZ. There's a reason for that, and that's because Science Vessel Clouds are awesome. But looks like Sak's going to try and renovate that theory and go with Valkyries instead, and I'm not sure how that's going to work out for him. We'll see. As these bases start to develop, the mech is doing its job. The Vultures are doing a good job of forcing, keeping down some of the eco of Zerg, but the tanks have not really been able to get into that strong of position yet, but they are taking the middle of the map now, and he is trying to take that. I wonder if he's going to take the middle expansion just for funsies. Not sure. The command center at the top right main has gone down to pure meatless, and a good play going off on 5 of those tanks, and Flash looks pissed. Whoa. That was scary. If you want to rewind like 5 seconds, I highly encourage you to go look at Flash's face again. He was scary. He looked angry. He had that "don't mess with me," and he's like, frick this, my team better win 3 games and give me an ace match because I am pissed that I lost and I'm not going to lose again. That was a terrifying face. Whew. Very, very scary. Oh well. That's Flash for you. Flash showing some emotion here and showing some real anger. Haven't seen it. I don't think I've ever seen Flash that angry before. That was a pretty pissed off face. Oh well. And more tanks joining the rest of the tanks in the middle of the map. Now he's got to be careful here. I have this bad feeling that what we're going to see here is like 2 swarms, and then all of this stuff just dies. The swarms come in, a plague maybe, and everything just dies as Zerglings and Lurkers just flow in. But Crazy Hydra is up to 6 bases right now, and Ssak is up to 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is starting to turn once again. You know, the pendulum of this game. This has just been a crazy pendulum, very low period, and has just gone back and forth, over and over and over again. And the mutas have actually been used to great effect because there's very, very few Goliaths, because all there is in the to counter air is Valkyries, and there is a Valkyrie, and that Valkyrie goes down. There's a Science Vessel finally. I don't even know what to say. Okay, whatever. Ssak needs to. I think Ssak needs to go take some lessons from Flash on decision making and unit composition, and I think that will help him out immensely. Mutas got me here to the 3 o'clock position, picking off a turret, and now they are starting to pick off at SCVs, but there are more turrets there, so I think these mutas are going to have to retreat, but they're doing a pretty good job of picking off these SCVs, and I don't think they saw the Valkyrie, so the Valkyrie actually doing a ton of damage because the mutas didn't shoot it. Mutas didn't see it. Crazy Hydra was targeting SCVs instead of the Valkyrie. Oh man, this game is funny. This game is getting hilarious. It's always good in the finals, you know, it's such a tense moment, very, very serious for both these teams. And then this game happens, so it's kind of one of those little like, it's pretty funny, little comedy, a comedy entertainment act in the middle of the very, very serious finals for StarCraft. Gotta have some fun in there, right? So that's what this game is. This is going to be the fun game, the enjoyable game, that you kind of laugh about what's going on, and then every game from here on out is going to be super intense and awesome. That's my hope, and it's going to be like the best play ever. And this is Easter games, so they should be awesome. I'm not even Christian, but I still hope that they're awesome games because it's a holiday for a lot of people that are watching this game in foreign countries. And yeah, so hopefully, I wonder if Easter's celebrated at all in Korea. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it is though. That would be pretty cool if Easter was celebrated at all in Korea. Maybe we'll start seeing people with like egg faces and like, I don't know, egg costumes in Korea. I bet you get a lot of people if they actually celebrate Korea. I bet you in Eastern Korea, I bet you that they would have some a huge amount of fun with eggs. And here comes a drop. I think this could be drops right on top of those tanks. There are some Goliaths finally, and here comes the drop, and it is going to be somewhat effective. Zerglings swarming in here, and there's a swarm, and that is going to make this super effective. And yeah, that is like Pokemon super effective right there, taking out tons of tanks. and wow, more tanks going down, and Ssak going in for some harassment with his vultures, does some damage there, but pretty good, but that is not enough for the loss of basically his entire mech army, and I think Ssak is going in huge trouble right now. This could be beginning of the end for Ssak, as Zerglings are flowing throughout the map. Cheap Zerglings going down to mines left and right, but they are cheap. They are cheapy. And some Lings getting into these tanks again as well, and Cracklings just mowing through those tanks. Look at those Cracklings go, taking out more tanks. Most cost-efficient unit in the game. With vultures, cracklings and zerglings just about, or cracklings and vultures, the two most cost-efficient units in the game, and just really both of them showing their value there. Both players able to do a whole lot of damage with them. Ssak with the vultures getting a whole lot of economic harassment, and continuing to get economic harassment, and the zerglings here taking off a lot of tanks very quickly. And it looks like that was odd. Somehow that drop didn't do as much as I thought it would. I thought that drop would be very effective. And Crazy Hydra not seeing this this vulture for a while, finally able to clear it out after losing several drones. So this is just a very tense game. There's Reach chillaxin. 10th in his last game, last day as a pro gamer, and just don't think we're gonna see Reach. Just don't think we're gonna see it. I would love to, but I don't see them playing him. I don't think that he'd be any more than a practice partner for this series. Unfortunately, we've very likely seen the last of Reach as a pro gamer. And he looks a little concerned here. I think he should be a lot more confident. I think Reach looks a little concerned. I think he should actually be extremely confident. I really like Crazy Hydra's chances. He's lost a lot of drones, but he's still able to. He still has a lot of base, still has a lot of hatcheries. And I just think Ssak has just shown that if the harassment stops, I just think Ssak has not shown that he's got what it takes today in order to really win an army-on-army fight. He's just not. His control has not been there. His army composition, particularly lack of science vessels, has not been there. And lack of Goliaths as well that he's needed. Just a lot of things have not been as effective as you would hope if you were an SKT Ssak fan. And here comes Crazy Hydra. Could come in here for a huge blitz from every single side. Please blitz, please blitz from like 3 different entrances to this middle. Please, Crazy Hydra, please, I will love you. This would be so cool if he could do this huge blitz. Does he have the APM? Does he have the skills to make it happen? I really hope he does. This could be so cool. So cool. So much potential here. Ssak is asking to just get blitzed. And will it happen? Will it happen? I don't know. What is he doing? Crazy Hydra, what are you doing? Where is he going? Is he going to the 3 o'clock position? Science vessel sees it. What's going on? Don't know. This game. It looks like Ssak might have abandoned the middle now. Oh my god. Opportunity was lost, and Ssak loses the science vessel that was wandering around the map on its own. Nice. This game is hilarious. Nope, he is taking the middle. He's actually putting a command center there, so it's going to be a static defense that he's going to pretty much back up to. And Crazy Hydra sees that, sees the Vulture or the SUVs moving in there. He must know that there is a base in there, and Ssak moving towards the top of the map, looking to take the 12 o'clock position and take that down. And the counter is going to be Lings going right into the middle of the map. I think that those were Lings. I thought I saw a bunch of yellow going in there. Not sure how effective they were. Didn't get a chance to look. It looks like more stuff is going on in the middle of the map. I think that could be a swarm with Lings, which could be very effective. Potentially lurkers going down to mines left and right. That is our those are Merkers, mind lurkers, those are Merkers. And some swarms coming in here, and Lings are going to get right into the tanks, and that is going to be that. These tanks are going to go down left and right, and that will be game. Crazy Hydra will win this set 4 as another science vessel goes down, and that will even the series up 2-2. Ssak's just doesn't have anything left, and thank God for Ssak that mine didn't go off, because he would have lost even earlier if that mine did go off. But it doesn't matter. Ssak's population is dwindling down close to about 50 and 60, and Ssak's doubling him up, and no base is really mining anymore for Ssak. I think he's got 6 o'clock, and that one should be close to mined out, and that's all he's got. And Crazy Hydra's got plenty. He's just got plenty of bases. Looks like he's probably got 4 mining, something like that. Doing very well. 6 o'clock, like I said, just about mined out. A tiny bit left. And tanks moving into the swarm. Gonna get surrounded by Lings. And the mines go off on top of the tanks to clear them out. GG from Ssak. Series is tied 2-2. Set 5. huge set coming up. Whoever wins the set can really put a lot of pressure on the other team. So huge set coming up, set 5. I will see you guys all there.